The Mass Transit Committee meeting in June here. The previous business, we have to approve the previous meeting minutes. If anyone
So
wants to
moved.
take a look. I have a
Second.
motion to move in a second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Current business authorizing a lease agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration regarding operation of a radar tower. Apparently, this is a lease. The county doesn't charge anything for the lease. We're not sure if this is covered under a larger lease, so I'd like an explanation for the committee.
Sure, so this is basically renewal. We're requesting a renewal of an existing lease or an expired lease with the FAA. You folks will see in your packet, there's a map. There's an existing tower on that property. Right, very high quality and high resolution map that I provided you
Even on the screen,
there.
it's
I can provide you a better quality map if you
That's all
folks
right.
need.
It looks like the cemetery.
That dot in the middle is the
It is
pole.
not a cemetery. There is a radar tower on that property. It's only a small portion of the property, but it's been there for many years, and the FAA has operated it free of charge, which is kind of the in-kind contribution, which is why they always ask for a zero cost lease. There are some questions. Majority Council has been very kind in working with us to flush those questions out. But we were asking that perhaps the committee could advance it, perhaps without recommendation or in anticipation of further documentation that can be provided. The question that is still outstanding is that this was initiated so long ago that technically speaking, it should have been, or it could have been, subsumed into the larger airport authority lease. And there is not clarity as to whether or not that happened. If it hasn't happened, then the lease is necessary. If it has happened, then it is not. That being said, the communication with the federal government has been slow. And so since we are a few months behind already and on authorizing it, we were hoping that we could advance this piece, this request in anticipation of that information. In the worst case, you folks can send it back to committee or table or whatever you need to do at that time.
Okay, can I get a motion to that effect to advance the motion from now?
Second.
Second? Okay, second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we advance it without recommendation and await the final analysis.
We anticipate we'll have that information to you in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So what happens, when we get the information, you
I
let
was
them
gonna do 787 bypass, but we haven't got anything. We haven't got the person that wrote the report, and I'd like to see that report. I want to put it on the committee for the next July agenda if we can. It goes through 2 environmental justice areas. It's the 787 corridor. It's also called the Hudson River Corridor, and it's a report by the Transportation Committee, the Capital District Transportation Committee, headed by Mr. Franchini, and has a lot of recommendations. It's a report that was skipped, the county was skipped. We didn't have any input into the report. Kind of every city did. Waterville had input, Cohoes had input. I saw it in the report. Green Island had it, and the city of Albany had input into it. We didn't.
And
So-
Rensselaer County?
Pardon?
Rensselaer County at all? No, because they feed in.
Not in. So then I think 787, nothing. So, I want to put that on the agenda next month if we can get Mr. Franchini here to explain to us what it is. Questions?
Chairman, there's a couple concerns about that roadway, which I think do necessitate, I think the city of Cohoes, if they have not been consulted, that's needless to say concerning, because the roadway that is 787, I believe, and I could be a little off in my numbers, but I did do a lot of research on this about actually this time last year, because it was built for approximately 30,000 cars daily, and now it's something like 85,000 cars daily. Restricting, access and making any significant changes, we would want to have some sort of traffic study done. Additionally, this is a state roadway, and they can have input, but I think there would be a process through the state that would be rather significant to make massive changes to that roadway, which I don't know a lot about that process, but I do think it's of concern to anyone who, obviously, 787 serves a tremendous number of communities, and also it's never been expanded since it's, as I understand it, since it was built.
Right.
And its capacity has not been expanded. And of course, that's a grave concern, simply because of the road diets that have been going on, i.e. on 32, Broadway. Now that backs up, and the backup there goes on to 787. The same with, we have the same problem with what is now in our community in Anans. They did a road diet on Van Rensselaer Boulevard, which of course now backs up a little bit. It doesn't have the direct tie-in with 787 like 378 does, but certainly it impacts all of the communities, I would think, along 787 in Albany County. So I'm glad you're taking up this issue, because it is of concern, any changes to it, because it is dramatically impacting our traffic.
Thank you. We'll definitely put it on next month. Did everybody see the report? I'm sorry I don't have it for everybody.
If we're able to get an email copy, that would be great.
Okay, before the meeting.
Can you email a copy?
Yeah, can you email a copy to us all?
It's too big, I can't scan that much fast like that. It's a report.
Well, who produced it might be able to give you an online
Capital
copy.
Business Transportation Committee.
Maybe they have it. Doug, do you want to bring,
I hope we can get it online. That's a lot of paper.
do you want to bring them before the next meeting, or
No, I'd like to bring them at
like
the next
for everybody, or?
meeting. For everybody. Is that all right with everybody? Okay, they're coming.
All right,
Okay, can we have a motion
to
to adjourn?
adjourn, so moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn.
Thank you, sir.
Did you